So remember we did that house down in Granbury, 1881, and then they had this mantle that was installed later, and we found out that the railroad came to Granbury in like 1892, and this fireplace mantle was in the house like 1893. The railroad had a very powerful effect on building and design and architecture in America. If you think about the great millwork companies, I've talked about the 13 millionaires that came out of Dubuque, Iowa. Even today, there are minor league baseball teams called the Lumber Kings. That's where Weyerhaeuser and a bunch of different people made a lot of money. They made money because the trees were coming down out of the forests of Wisconsin and Minnesota and Michigan, and they were being built in these huge mills in Iowa and on the Mississippi River. And the thing that made those things explode in growth was the railroad, because it could then take the millwork supplies all over the country very cheaply, very quickly. And the railroad was this defining piece. Now, talking about kit houses, how did Sears sell houses all over the country, all over the world? Railroad. I mean, it's the railroad that allowed them to box these things up, put them in a couple cars, and then send them down the line. So the railroad is a huge piece that really helps encourage growth. It really helps democratize design. It really helps bring good design and good style to other parts of the country. So the railroad was this piece that, as we think about how houses develop, how cities develop, how these things happen, the railroad was a big part of that. So why did kit houses have such an appeal? Why did they work? There's a number of reasons. One, Sears was everywhere. Montgomery Ward's was everywhere. The Sears catalog was something that, every household in America practically had, because if you were on a farm, that was your department store. That's how you ordered things. I looked through some Sears catalogs last night. 1,000 pages in 1920, and in 1890, when they first started coming out with those catalogs, they became the internet of that period of time of how you ordered things and how you thought about things. So Sears catalog comes in there, you're looking for a new house, and all of a sudden you see the Sears catalog is there. So there was an ease of purchase that was going on. There's also the fact that if you're on a farm in the middle of Iowa or Kansas or wherever you are, that's a pretty good way of getting a full house sent to your property where you could build it yourself, where you could kind of put it together as necessary. The lack of labor and the lack of skilled craftsmen made this ability to get a better house than you would have gotten otherwise, because the design was already done, the materials were already figured out. A lot of times with these kit houses, there was notches in the framing or lettering on the framing when the packages come, so you almost put together as a kit. So there was a lot of reasons people were attracted to this, and the ease of purchase had to be part of that. After the early 1920s, when Sears figured out financing, it also was a big jump in the number of sales of how am I going to pay for this? I had a Gordon Van Tine catalog. One of their things was, we'll loan you up to 75% of the cost, right? And so through financing, through other things, working with local banks, they really figured out the financing piece. And so the ease of purchase, the ease of being able to get something that was beautiful, that had a good name brand behind it. Gosh, if I'm getting my house from Sears, I can trust them for everything, and they're going to stand behind it. So there's a lot of reasons why it would have been attractive to get a kit house if you didn't have the labor, if you wanted to do the work yourself, if you didn't have a great builder in your area, there's no architect, right? They made that purchase fairly easy and straightforward.